Right now, every single bank transfer on Earth passes through one system. Not 10, not 100, one. And that one system can strangle any economy without a single bullet fired. America controls it. Documented fact, not theory. Most people have never heard of it. Most governments never discuss it. It controls your money, your country's money, every international payment everywhere. This is the story of SWIFT, the most powerful financial weapon ever built. A weapon that brought Iran and Russia to their knees without one military engagement. It started in 1944, at a conference most people studied once and forgot. Bretton Woods, New Hampshire, the most powerful nations redesigning global finance from scratch. Their stated mission: end global poverty, rebuild the world, bind nations through economic interdependence. But something went very wrong, or depending on your perspective, SWIFT, Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication. Simple terms, the internet for banks. Think of it this way: banks do not call each other directly. They send messages through SWIFT. 11,500 financial institutions, 200 countries, all connected through this single network. $4 trillion of transactions processed every single day. Every single day. When your bank sends money internationally, it sends a SWIFT message. That message is everything. Here is what most people miss. SWIFT does not move money. It moves messages, instructions. But without those messages, nothing moves. Cut a country off and their entire financial system stops. SWIFT is technically headquartered in Brussels, Belgium. Founded in 1973. Neutral cooperative. International board. 25 nations on its board of directors. Presented as completely independent. Answerable to nobody. On paper, perfectly neutral. Perfectly international. Perfectly insulated from any single government. But the American dollar is involved in 88% of all international currency transactions. That number matters. When America speaks to SWIFT, SWIFT listens differently than it listens to anyone else on Earth. September 11th, 2001. The attacks that changed everything, including things most people never found out about. The U.S. Treasury launched the Terrorist Finance Tracking Program. Follow the money. Find the networks. Without a court order, without legal authority, they secretly access SWIFT's entire global database. Not parts of it, not selected records. The entire database of every bank in every country. For 4 years, 2001 to 2006. For complete years of total secrecy. Every transaction, every person, every country. Read by American analysts without consent or warrant. The largest covert financial surveillance operation in human history, running silently for 4 years. June 2006. New York Times exposed everything. The world discovered what had been happening. European governments furious. European Parliament condemned it. Belgium investigated its own privacy laws. America's response: national security required it. We oversaw ourselves and found ourselves to be fine. But here's the question nobody asked loudly enough. If they did it for 4 years, did they stop? The program was formalized, made legitimate, but the capability never went away. It became a weapon. Traditional sanctions are slow, months to implement, easy to circumvent, blunt instruments. SWIFT disconnection is completely different. Immediate, total, almost impossible to work around. The first major test, 2012. The kill switch was pointed at Iran. Iran's major banks disconnected from SWIFT. The effect was almost instantaneous. Economy contracted 15% within months. The rial lost half its value. Oil exports collapsed 50%. No bombs, no soldiers, no declaration of war. Just one decision in Brussels. 85 million ordinary people, businesses, families, students, financially cut off from the entire world overnight. Then came Russia. February 26, 2022. For days after the Ukraine invasion, ruble collapsed 30% in a single trading day. Before the week even started, Russia had prepared for years. Gold reserves, their own system SBFS, yuan trade agreements with China, still hit like a freight train. Because back roads cannot handle the traffic when the main highway closes. No bombs, no soldiers, one phone call to Brussels. That is the weapon. Every nation on Earth operates at America's financial permission, including yours. Not by treaty, not by vote, by a technical dependency on a system they cannot escape. China saw this clearly. Launched CIPS in 2015, their own alternative international payment system. Russia expanded SBFS after Crimea, 2014. India building UPI internationally. Brazil has PX. BRICS discussing alternatives. But honest reality, CIPS processes 13,000 transactions per day. SWIFT processes millions. The gap is enormous. The network effect makes SWIFT almost impossible to replace quickly. Every bank that joins makes it more valuable. What about cryptocurrency? Can it escape SWIFT dependency? Most people think yes. The answer is not yet. Most crypto still needs banks at some point. Banks connect to SWIFT. The escape route is mostly theoretical. But nations are genuinely reducing dollar dependency. Saudi Arabia discussing yuan oil. India buying Russian oil in rupees. Every time America uses the weapon, every other nation receives the same message. This will be next. The dollar SWIFT dominance is being challenged for the first time since 1944. America knows it, which is exactly why the weapon is being used more aggressively now than at any point in history. Let us bring this back to what we actually know from documented sources. Congressional records, court filings, New York Times, ICIJ investigations, European Parliament resolutions, all documented. A former U.S. Treasury official documented this entire strategy in 2013. An architect describing his own work. What happens when a referee also plays for one of the teams? That is the real question. The most important competition of the next 50 years will not be fought with missiles. It will be fought with messaging systems, currency settlements. Who controls the financial pipes money flows through? SWIFT did not start as a weapon. It started as a practical banking communication solution. It grew quietly, became indispensable gradually. Each bank joining made it more valuable to every other bank. It quietly became indispensable, and it became a gun. Now you know what most people do not. Why Iran collapsed. Why Russia's currency crashed. Why China is building alternatives. Knowledge is the only real protection against systems designed to operate completely in the dark. Subscribe, because the real story of global financial power is only just beginning to be told.